Yo, what is going on, guys? This is Cyberhorn92 here today. We're going to be doing another podcast of the pro player, the history. And I'm here with the one and only Rene. How are you, man?
Hey, hello. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you for your time for joining this podcast. I really appreciate it, by the way.
Anytime you want.
Yeah. Would you like to introduce who you are, just in case if anyone don't know about you?
My name is Rene Pacheco. I'm a consistent competitive Yu-Gi-Oh player. Um, I don't know. I consider myself good, not one of the best, but a really good and questionable player. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Mention about competitive. How long you been playing Yu-Gi-Oh competitive, and how you got into competitive in the first place?
Okay. For Yu-Gi-Oh, I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh for since I was like a kid because yeah, I started when the started the Yugi came out, the Yugi and the Kaiba one. I started with that, and I played like with the first expansions. I think that I stopped playing after Ancient Sanctuary came out. Then I just like stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh. And on high school, one of my friends told me, "Oh yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna be playing Yu-Gi-Oh." And I was like, "Oh my god, you're gonna play Yu-Gi-Oh?" Yeah, because I was playing like in Dwelling Network, the the old book.
Oh yeah, the dual network warriors back in the day.
Yeah, before it was killed by Konami.
Mm.
And I was playing. I don't remember. I was playing something. It was around Edison. Something on Edison. I had my deck had like Treeborn Frog, Cayuse, and all that things. That was meta back then. And well, after that, I stopped playing again. And then my friend, then it was when I was talking with my friend on high school, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm pretty interested. Can I come with you?" And yeah, he said yes. And then we went to locals. I went locals for the first time, and I was like amazed. And and after that, I talked with that meta was I think, if I remember correctly, it was after rulers, after the tier zero ruler format.
Oh, Dragon Roller before that, right?
uh, yeah, it was like after it when Mythic Ruler was meta, Firefish, Mermails, and all that.
Oh
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
yeah. I was starting to play. I started to play and start buying cards. Um, After Legacy of the Valiant. Sorry, when Legacy of the Valiant was out.
Mhm.
In that expansion, the most highlighted cards were Exiton Knight, Silent Honor Arc, and I was building Evil Swarms. One of my friends
Oh my
told
god,
me,
no way! That's my favorite deck. That was my first competitive deck too. Yo.
yo, that was a really good deck. And one of my friends, I was like, oh, because I've always been a competitive guy.
Mhm.
Uh, Trash me whatever you want, but I played League of Legends competitively years ago when I had a lot of time.
Mhm.
Because yeah, practicing for that is not compared, because 10 hours playing. Well, that's another thing for another day.
Mhm.
And I was saying like, yo, I really want to play something competitive. Uh, and he told me, well, cheap and competitive, you can play something like Evil Swarms or something like that. And I was like, okay, let's try it out. I was playing some variants on Dueling Network,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh yeah, let's go, let's play that. And I was pretty into it. Then after that, I built a Constellar deck, which is a deck that I really like. And that was in my first approach to that. Well, that was, I don't know when Legacy of the Valiant went out, but it was like years ago. I think like uh 8 years. I don't remember exactly, 8 9 years ago.
Mhm. Mhm.
But competitively, I started to play in tournaments, local tournaments. But I started to play competitively when Primal Origin was out, and just after Legacy of the Valiant.
Mhm.
And my first like approach was to with my Constellar deck. I added up the sanctums, the artifact sanctums,
Oh,
artifact
okay.
moral tag, and all that engine because it has like synergy with Pleiades.
Yeah.
So that was one of the first competitive approaches that I really had. But I think that when I started to be completely like into the meta and
Mhm,
playing tournaments like ODS, Yu-Gi Days, and all that stuff, and even my first regional,
mhm.
which was a disaster, by the way. But it was with Stellar Knights because I really like Stellars and all the art and the backlog and
Yeah, the rank 4 spam and control too, and I know that's your favorite play style, all the way to today, I believe so?
yeah. S-
Yeah.
and after that I just started like playing meta decks that I like. Yeah, I'm a competitive guy and a meta guy, but I'm not a meta slave, because for example I won't be playing decks like I don't like the art. Yeah, I'm that
That's
guy. Or the play style, for example. um One of my friends wanted to give me an spiral deck when it was like tier 0, and I just
Mhm,
wanted to play it because I don't like the art. I don't
mhm.
like the playstyle. I don't like combo decks, to be honest.
That
I'm
is
not a
true.
fan of that. And even when super heavy samurai was like tier 1 like for 2 weeks before
Mhm,
Konami killed
mhm.
it, I was like, yo, I won't be playing that. The deck is horrible. Yo, it's horrible. I don't. I play decks if I like the playstyle, the art,
Mhm.
and obviously if it's competitive. Because if
Yeah.
I'm pretty realistic with that, and if the deck is not competitive, I just don't go on.
Yeah, that is true. Oh yeah, before I get into the interview, what's up? Insect underscore master. Hey, it's Weevil Underwood from the Discord. We do it yesterday. Yo, what's up, man? Hopefully you enjoyed this Discord live stream podcast. Pro player, by the way. But yeah, like when you mentioned about Evil Storm, that was also my second competitive deck. My first was Ancient. During that time, I really want to play Dragon Lord, but it was way too expensive. It was like, oh gosh,
Yo, Drakus second big guy was like on skyrocketing. Oh
I
my
know.
god. Um
Yeah, it was like $100 for a big eye or 70 or something.
yeah, yeah, that guy. I think that competitive Yu-Gi-Oh was a bit more expensive before.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't remember,
Oh
but
yeah.
I remember a format when Necross was out. Oh my god, that was
Oh yeah.
incredibly expensive. One of my best friends bought some boxes, and he was like hell lucky because he bought 2 boxes, and in those 2 boxes he got one Bryanak from each box,
Oh,
which was a really low rate because
whoa.
one of those guys went like one between like seven-ish, 8 boxes. So he was
What?
hella lucky. Yeah,
Yo, that's crazy.
that thing was pretty short printed.
Yeah.
But that deck was like uh, 1K, hitting the 2K, if I remember correctly.
Mhm.
Because yeah, those decks. Or Clifford was pretty expensive too.
Yeah,
When
Kiefer
if I
was.
remember,
Oh,
Burning Abyss. No, Burning Abyss was Dante was the only expensive card, but
yeah.
Clifford, a lot of cars were expensive. Necross was expensive.
Yeah.
Ruler Mermaid was expensive,
Yep.
if when I remember, because Megalo was hell expensive.
Oh yeah, like $100 or more or something like that.
Megalo, and get your big eye because it's 7 axis. Get your Dracossack. Oh my god, that was pretty expensive. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. And like I'm so happy too today that like the car market is a little bit different than before. Nothing that crazy unless like max rarity wise, but then so happy like a lot of reprints happen. So make the
yeah,
game people afford. It's basically pay to win, not like pay to win, but like you need to know how to play the deck. Um,
sure,
but
sure,
yeah,
yeah,
I'm so happy you and I are both control players. Like this year, I've been trying to play control, but I really want to play combo decks. But then again, control player all through the round. You don't have to think too much, but you have to think like how to use your card certain way. So you don't have to like basically, you don't have to use a lot of brain power. That's what I meant to say. Not as much, somewhat.
Okay. About combo decks, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sort of agree with you, but they require to use the brain
Mhm.
in certain situations
Mhm.
when you get interrupted. Because
Mhm.
I try to play combo because you need to know like the two sides of the coin.
That's true.
Uh, because for me there are three kind of decks: stun decks, like Elich stun, like what was
Labyrinth?
was it? Mm,
No?
Labyrinth, the floodgate version, because there are two versions,
Oh, yeah.
but like Guru Control, Alter Guys, like all those anti-meta decks that don't work because they just go ruin your score and they just get the X3 in the fifth round. So yeah, it was like the guy that, ha ha ha, yeah, I destroy you one round because you drew zero outs and I went X3. See ya.
Yeah.
and,
It happens.
and there is the control decks, such as because such as like Tri Brigade, Sky Strikers. I consider Salamangrates. All those decks are control decks, like
Mhm.
pseudo combo, but more control deck, and obviously the full control decks such as the Spiral, Super Heavy Samurai, the old Dragon Link combo deck. Emancipator on all those decks. So the thing here is that combo is easier in sort of way to play because if you watch your YouTube videos and know all the lines,
Mhm.
you will be completely you'll know completely how to play the deck. But when you go to your tournament and
Mhm.
you just get like Dash, Nev, and all this stuff,
Mhm.
when you need to know how to play the deck because you need, okay, if I get Ash, Imperm, Nev, Troll, etc., I need to play around that.
That's
Or okay, well, I'm not going to leave like five negates, but at least I'm going to try to leave two or three negates or at least one.
that is true.
And people, when they're accustomed just to do the lines that they saw on a YouTube video, they
Mhm.
just get like break mentally and they just go Phoenix Pass. It's a local meme, but yeah, and that's like the difference between combo players who know how to play the deck and who doesn't know how to play. Because I
Mhm.
really knew a lot of players that have the cash to build up their deck,
Mhm.
and they just don't know what their deck does,
Yes.
and that's a pretty normal thing. And about control, um, you need to know it requires a little bit more of experience because you need to know where to hit, where are the flex spots to the choking points, sorry, just to stop any combo or everything like that. So you need to study a lot of decks. It requires you to know every deck,
Mhm.
to, for example, in a tournament, you cannot afford to don't know a card
Mhm.
when you play control. You need to know what everything does because you need to be prepared for all those things. You just, is one thing that I was talking about with a friend that wants to improve.
Mhm.
Um, you need to study the decks. For example, like I say, even if you're on the simulator and you're playing and you get like random decks like a Metolche or Mana Dome or something like that, you need to
Mhm.
know what those cards do and
That's
how to play. Even if you don't know completely the deck, you need to know like, okay, maybe this can hit, that can hit it. Because
mhm.
you think that you're going to be playing against Kashtira in every round, you're dead, because sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. For example, I
Yeah.
was prepared to play against Brandon, and I went against zero Brandon in the whole tournament. So
That
it
is.
happens.
Yeah, that's true. And you always want to prepare for it. Even myself, when I play control deck, I always want to like trying to see what card to stop because like you could have like you just like start flipping cards and then people didn't know like how to play around it and then you could have like saved those resources too.
Exactly.
Yeah, and usually like around like 4 or 5 people like get tired throughout the round, so I understand that like mainly control player like just need to see those points like air scenario, but then don't have to like not like think as too much as a combo, but like in the same scenario you want to play perfectly and see the scenario and see what is this a good play or is this a bad play? Does he or she have this card? You just want to think so many.
Yeah,
Um,
it happens a lot. For example, it happened to me that I see on the tables and stuff that people just ash the first thing that they can ash, and it was like, yo, wait, yo, dude, wait, there are better choking points.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like, uh Elias from deck, Ash. And it was like, yo, wait. it's
That's true. That's true.
and it was
Sometimes
like,
you gotta do it, but like you have to know the deck before you stop it. Unless that's the only card, then sure, why not do it?
exactly.
Makes sense.
Mhm.
So how many hours does it take you to make your deck prior to events and stuff like that?
Okay. I do a lot of things to prepare myself. I just don't go and play wildly for 10 hours. I do different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I see a lot of videos of people playing, and not all the time is just to see if they're playing correctly, because a lot of people on the internet plays really bad.
Yeah.
Okay, but you need to see like those mistaken lines so you can learn from them. For
Mm-hmm.
example, I watch a lot of DBG, a
Oh,
lot.
DB Grinder. Yeah.
Yeah, DB Grinder, he's like
Mm-hmm.
one of my favorites, because he has such a value content, because he comments and he tells you this is bad, this is good. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
he's doing this because doing this equals this, and you need to learn that. And I don't obviously I prioritize videos that are playing the deck that I'm planning to play,
Mm-hmm.
but I also look through the other decks only to know them, to know what their card does, how the combo, where are the choke
Mm-hmm.
points, everything. And
Yes.
after that, I just like start strategizing all the things that I'm going to play, which
Mm-hmm.
hand traps are good, which are not, because now I don't base myself completely on watching deck profiles.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Because okay, I use them like a parting point, but I don't usually copy them, like just copy paste them. I prefer to watch the profile instead of just looking through the image, because I really want to know. For example, if someone watches my deck profile for the WCQ, my top eight,
Mm-hmm.
and they see, oh my god, Bell and Droll are the best cards. But if you see the profile, I'm gonna tell you this card were so underperformed in the event.
That is true. That is
Yeah,
true.
you need to know what are you doing. You're not just going to copy and paste the deck.
Yeah.
I play a lot. I would like to play more on book, but for things like time, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not able to do it that constantly unless I'm testing with a friend. But
Mm-hmm.
sitting on ranked, it takes me a lot of time, because
That is true.
sometimes when you're past the 500 rating, when you're playing against real duelists,
Yep.
um, things happen that needs rulings, and you need to wait for the judge,
Yeah.
and
So much time consuming.
so much time consuming. I don't know, but a lot of pro players
Mm-hmm.
don't that usually play a lot on that platform do not play on late night, just because there are no judges, and it was
That's
such a waste of time. Okay, uh, do you think that your time is more worth, or those 15 points of rating that you're going to get? So I usually play on something called Yu-Gi-Oh Mega, because I think it's pretty fast, and I think it's pretty good. But I try to test on remote, and when I'm playing with friends, we play on book. Obviously, because I think it's better. If I want like quick duels, I use that Omega platform, but I prefer obviously to use book, because it's the most thing related to real life playing
yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
You do everything by yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah. And also, yeah, you do have a good point. Like, I wish that like there's admin back in the day, like, doing network. We had so many admins, and there were like some people okay, but like there were like competitive. Like currently today, everyone kind of works at the game. Not like works, but like you know what I mean. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, yeah, yeah, I completely got you. A thing that I heard from another videos, even from guys like DBG,
Mm-hmm.
is that even if they use that platform daily, they know that the platform is kind of bad,
Mm-hmm.
because like the lack of judges. because the judge exam for book is way harder for like in comparison with the real life one, because
Really?
yeah, I'm actually a judge.
Oh, dang, I didn't
Yeah,
know. That's
I
cool. Even
yeah,
your girlfriend or wife, right?
my wife is a judge too, but
Yeah,
she's more pro. Like she yeah, she's like in another level. Like she judged the UWCQ, YCSs, like almost every big event on here in Latin America. She's
mm,
on. Like, we're from Mexico, but
mm,
like she went to Colombia, she went to Costa Rica. um yeah, she's like in another level. I was just like, I think that the highest thing that I've ever judged was like Nats, and it was because he was in my city.
oh, very
And
nice.
yeah, but yeah, I tasted what it means to be a judge. I judged like a couple of regionals and those Nats and some locals, and it's cool. It's a really good experience. I really liked it, but I really prefer a lot to be on the tables playing.
Mm,
And it was like just one season, and suddenly sometimes I judge something, but
mm.
really low, like a locals or maybe a regional, but it each year is hard,
Oh
because
yeah,
I'm more into the game now.
that is true.
And but yeah, uh, and well, going back to the topic, is that there are no judges. It's pretty hard because the exam, even if you are a KDA judge, the exam is pretty hard. Like, you need to know everything, because if I remember correctly, in those exams, I don't know if they changed them,
Mm.
but they even invent cards. Okay, they create like
Oh,
pseudo
custom
cards,
cards, right?
custom cards with effect, obviously with legally uh written
Mm.
effects, nothing like uh nothing like from invented just because of that. uh, but it is to test you on how is your comprehension. But it becomes really hard, because sometimes when you're a regular judge, uh, you compare situations that, okay, this card does this, then this card shares the same text as this card,
Mhm.
so they resolve like this. So I don't know if I explain myself, but a lot of what we do when we're judges, if we don't know the correct interaction for a card, we try to look for a card that shares the same text, so we know how to resolve something correctly.
Oh, it's like the same ruling of that certain card, right?
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
okay, that makes sense.
Hmm.
Okay, so for example, mistiming when or if and shenanigan like that.
Exactly.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. Thanks for sharing about that. I didn't know that dueling book the
I,
basically the system for judges way harder than real life.
yeah.
Basically.
Well, that was for network.
Oh,
For
network.
dwelling network, I don't know if it applies the same for book, but when as I remember, it was like that on network.
Dang. Okay, okay, makes sense. How much playtime do you usually get in before going to the event usually?
Mm, Depending on which event. For
Okay.
example, if it's a tier 3 event, I
Mm-hmm.
don't remember how the tiers were. If I remember correctly, tier 1s are locals,
Mm-hmm.
tier 2s are ODS to regionals, and tier 3s are nationals and beyond,
Mm-hmm.
like nationals, WCQs,
RCS.
YCSs, the old UDS things,
Mm-hmm.
and worlds. If I remember correctly, I don't know if the tiers are a little bit different,
Mm-hmm.
but if obviously if the event is tier 3,
Mm-hmm.
I over prepare myself up.
That's true.
uh, I test a lot. I see a lot of lines that I think there is something complicated here, because for example, some it happened a lot here in Latin America, that for big events we're like the guinea pigs uh, of ban lists, because for example, this new van list that just dropped
Mm-hmm.
3 weeks ago, I don't
Yeah.
remember exactly.
Yeah.
Um, Basically, we were the ones that I was going to test it on big events.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
and it's not the first time that that happened, because it happened. Uh, the first time that I happened that it happened, it was on a YCS on 2017.
Uh-huh.
I was playing Zodiacs, and Bandless dropped, and the YCS was on the next week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and obviously
Wow.
in that ban list, Zodiac was destroyed.
Dang.
Like Dryden ban, Blood Bowl ban, and all these slaughter for
Yeah.
Zodiac. And I ended up playing Pendulum Magicians, and it was a disaster because I didn't even like the deck.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I'm so happy. From where I'm at, we don't have to like play test as much. We just have to watch, like, seeing what decks are doing well. We use the analytics and then see what are the decks for me to represent that will prepare for deck or play the best deck if possible.
Yeah,
Uh,
and after that, we need to be a little well. In my occasion, my occasion, I need to be a little bit more objective on which are the decks that are going to be more representative, and being honest. Like, okay, if you already have like a cat, for example, this was my mindset for this event. It was like, oh my god, if you already have cash, why would you throw away your cash?
that's true.
Or if you already have like Sprite, why would you throw away Sprite? So,
Yeah.
or your branded deck, because those are really good decks.
Yeah.
So, and I said, okay, I'm gonna prepare for cash, Sprite, the mirror match, and
Yep.
branded.
Yep.
Zero branded, but
It's always
I
PC practice.
but but I actually played against those other three decks that I already told you,
Mm-hmm.
and it went really well. And I was expecting a little bit of Sorso, but to be honest, I think that Sorso is way too fair for this format. And it's not a bad deck, but I consider that it's not one of the best decks.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, no, it's good, but it's not that good
yeah. It's
because
like
it's too.
not good enough. Unless like if they hit the all the other decks, then maybe it should be okay.
Yeah, it's too fair. It's too fair. It's a really fair deck.
That's
It doesn't have anything like just a cheap. You
that
know.
is, and like the sword, so like it's been really good ever since Protos was a thing. Thank goodness that was
Oh yeah, Protoss was insane. I actually played a sorcerer for a while because, fun fact, I hate synchros. I don't like. I think it's my least favorite uh, extra deck summon. I hate
yeah,
synchros. I don't like them.
yeah,
I
no,
think that the only synchro card that I like is Chaos Angel, and it's because it's a cheat synchro.
that is insane. When you
Yeah,
play chess, what works for you? Usually online or in person, and why is that?
both.
Both.
Yeah, I have two times. Well, regularly
Mm-hmm.
I play two times physical on the week. On Thursdays, where I play with my friends and we play
Mm-hmm.
test, and on
Mm-hmm.
Saturdays when our locals, I will play test more, but but I have a job, so I don't have time to play locals unless they're on night.
Yeah.
Um, but I play like between 2 or 3 days, depending on if an event is coming or not, and I play test like basically almost daily
Mm-hmm.
online. I don't know. Maybe I just don't play on Sundays or Mondays, but I play on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, sometimes on Fridays, depending on what am I doing,
Mm-hmm.
and on Saturdays when I go to locals on physical. But all those days I play online. I try to play both because obviously I need to. If I'm going to test like an expensive car before buying it, or
Mm-hmm.
an expensive engine, I need to test it first before to commit to spend like $100 on something that
Yeah.
maybe is going to be trash. And I say, oh, I just spent $100 on something that I said that is bad. Oh, damn.
Good. Yeah, even myself, like when sometimes like even locals can be far certain for other people. Usually like online's the best resources or like remote, or like play test hand, like pretend you're going first or going second, pretend they have this car. What can you do? Just like pretend what they have, like any.
Oh, yeah, I do that a lot on book. I really like to do that on book because I think that is a little bit more fair,
Mm-hmm.
because obviously the system just shuffles randomly and perfectly.
Yeah.
and I can do that on any other and on any moment of my day. Like if I'm on work and I have like free time on work, I just log in into book and I play test solo mode on just to draw hands like any other sort of combo. I there is something that I really do a lot, which is play test 15 hands, and in those 15 hands I try to see the lines, like if it's a brick hand or it's a playable hand, how many stars do I have on my hand,
Mhm.
and based on that I see if my deck is consistent or it's just a fantasy consistency deck.
Okay, okay. That's actually really good. I actually never thought about that. When you say 15 hands, like you're playing like 40 plus cards, do you like look at the top five cards, like all through your deck, or you just shuffle every time, or what?
Yeah, no, I draw my first five cards
Uh-huh.
because and I say, okay, I drew this card and this card. These are card starters, and the other one are hand traps, interruptions, anything. Okay, my hand is good. Shuffle
Mm,
deck, draw another five, and I just do that for 15 times,
15 times. Okay.
like 10 or 15 times, because we need to put it like, okay, how many the percentage, okay, because
Mm,
this game has math too,
mm,
and okay, how is the percentage of consistency does my deck has. I
mm.
think that the most viable thing is to do it 100 times, but
That's
but oh my god, it sounds a lot. Like I think that 15 times or even
yeah,
20 is okay. You have
yeah,
like an idea. If you already drew like five bad hands on 10 draws, is because your deck is bad built or is not consistent.
that is true. Yeah.
Mhm.
That makes sense. I actually never thought about that. Is that like a magic number for Yu-Gi-Oh, or just curious why 10 or 15? Just curious on that.
Just it's just math. Like okay, you just like say okay, if I'm gonna do it like 10 to 20 times,
Mm-hmm.
it becomes like okay, how is the percentage? If I drew like 10 hands and two were dead hands or bad hands, it means that my deck is an 80% consistent.
Oh, okay. Okay. That is smart. I like that. There's this guy in America, Johnny Sai Lee. He said that in Go format, you play a lot of rounds online, and whatever deck you do well within that build, you play that deck consistency. Then that reflect to real life as well. The same thing.
Y-
Your concept opening hand, but only difference that play a lot of games. But that's actually pretty cool. Thanks for sharing about that part.
yeah, that's cool.
How many tops do you have in total? Just curious.
On premium events or general?
Just all in general, like YCS regionals, nationals.
Regionals, we have like 10 tops or more, three victories, like three first places, and like a lot of top eights,
Wow.
which is the one that it really counts.
Mm.
And I have like five premier event tops, three WCQs and two ICSs.
Dang. Okay. Okay. Can you tell me about
Oh,
the
and one
pro
that's
system? Yep. Oh,
uh,
and
sh- yeah. Sorry. What's the question?
yeah. Can you tell us about the world point system that you were telling me about?
Okay. On the season, every time that you play on a tier two event or tier three event,
Mm-hmm.
well, all the events that give you invitation to the WCQ,
Uh-huh.
um, every time that you sign one of those papers, they give
Uh-huh.
you points. Okay, depending on the place that you are placed at the end of the event,
Uh-huh.
it only counts when you're inside your region. For example, if I go to America,
Uh-huh.
and I think that I wouldn't be allowed to play a regional. Well, I think that it would be a better comparison with the YCS. If I go to America and play a YCS, I won't get any points. And if you guys play that YCS that it's on America, you will get points, and vice versa. If you come to Mexico and you play a YCS and you top, you won't get points because it needs
What?
to be on your region. Yeah,
All because you're resident, right?
yeah, exactly. It was
Okay.
that thing was changed like I don't remember if it was like 5 years ago,
Uh-huh.
because a lot of people was like traveling like crazy, and
Mm-hmm.
it made the points race like if if it's pay to win, it was like way more to pay to win. Like
Yeah.
to get like 5 points, you need to waste like 2 or 3K in in your flight and
Yeah.
all the expenses.
Yeah.
And
It's like a lot
well,
of pressure too.
it's a lot. Like if
Yeah.
you're on the if you're on the race, it's a lot because you need to attend like almost every region on your area. And as far as I know, on America, it's way harder
Yeah.
because there is a lot of hardcore players there, and there are a lot of events there. Like if we have 10 events, you guys have like 13, 30. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore in America, but there are more places because here in Mexico,
Mhm.
uh, only the top 8 of the list of the leaderboard
Mhm.
goes and plays the playoff. Here in Mexico, I think on South America,
Mhm.
uh, places like Argentina, Chile, Peru, etc., they only have like two players, and if they want to play the playoff, they need to come here in Mexico at the WCQ
Oh.
to participate on the playoffs. And as far as I know, I think that the tournament is a total of 16 people,
Uh-huh.
counting all the Mexican players, all the top 8 of the Mexican leaderboard, and
Mhm.
the other top players from the South America region. Well,
Mhm.
the other parts of Central America, sorry, because South America is it's another story,
Mhm.
and and they play like a normal, like a regular locals.
Mhm.
It will be like an OTS because it's a small event, but with tops, with top
Yeah,
cut,
that's true.
with
Like
top
that's true.
8, top 4, and finals.
Yep, and there were out of the 16 players, is there only one going to Worlds? Only
Yeah,
one?
the winner of the tournament goes to Worlds,
Oh my
and
gosh.
but it's pretty cool because a lot of people, obviously, you will have access to go to Worlds, but
Yeah.
only for participating on the playoffs event,
Uh-huh.
you'll get a prize card.
Oh, very
So
nice.
so yeah, your grind basically pays off at the end of the day.
Okay, okay. That sounds
Yeah,
good. And you're I believe you're one of the top 16 players, correct?
I just I was lacking of 4 points because I couldn't
Oh
make it to Nats.
no.
Yeah, I was like on ninth place if I remember correctly.
Please. And you need
But
like 10 more points to qualify for it.
yeah, but I'm gonna grind like crazy on this new season that it's on
Yeah.
August or September. I remember when it starts because I think that uh, I don't know where are your Nats and where are your WCQ.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's on July. I think your
I
WCQ or
think
your
they're hosting like oh wait, our national or
yeah, your national when it is,
yes, it is on July 7th to the 9th.
and the WCQ.
Oh yeah, that's our WCQ. That's for national.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's gonna be on July. And then Worlds going to be I don't know where, but I know they're gonna host it in Japan this
yeah,
year.
it's in Japan,
Yeah.
but and after that we have like a month of peace, and after that month of peace is a start grinding again.
Yeah, no, you got this. By the time you make the world, I need to add you to the podcast, and like once you go to world, I need to ask you questions, stuff like that.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Just shoot it out, man. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's something pretty intense, but it's cool. It's cool.
yeah, no, it's like one of the biggest accomplishments no one cannot take from you.
Yeah,
What is your favorite event and least favorite event? Would you say?
my favorite event. I think it will be between the WCQ and then a YCS because you're able to play with players from other sides of the world,
Mm-hmm.
and on Nats and regionals, it's just like guys from the area that you already know. But when you play like a YCS, you play with even American players, Canadians, South American players, really good players too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and on the WCQ, obviously too. Sadly, there cannot be like North American players and stuff, but at least you're able to play with another kind of players from around the world. So I
Yeah,
think that those two events, but if I'm gonna put one, I think it will be the YCS,
yeah.
because YCS is hardcore shit. Yeah, I
Oh,
really like it.
yeah. That's true. And mention about that when you play against a different regions, it's actually pretty cool because like us North American player versus like a different countries, like different mindset are completely different. Like spicy tech that we probably don't know, or like we probably know that never thought of. Uh,
Mm, there's something that we here in Mexico we talk about that,
mhm.
and it is because we here on Central America and then North America we have like different mindsets on playing.
Yeah,
As far as I know, the North American player is a more combo based players. I don't know if I'm correct with that, but
somewhat, yeah.
yeah, you guys play a little bit more of combo.
Hmm.
And here in Mexico, yeah, we play combo, but there is a lot of random decks, and oh my god, I seen a lot of you guys from North America struggles with random decks, like yo,
Yeah.
what is this? Because you're prepared for the real deal, like the meta
Yeah.
decks and all that. But there comes like there comes a guy that plays turbo multi faker with stuff, and you're like, yo, what is this? And yeah, we play a lot of random here, a lot of random. Sometimes it depends a lot because maybe it's the cost of the cards, and a lot of people it's okay to play whatever they want,
Hmm.
and they just don't care.
That is true. And that's the
And
fascinating part and really fun to know about it. Like it's kind of interesting too.
yeah, but it's something because we have different mindsets. We are pretty. As far as I seen, and I played against American players
Hmm.
and European players too.
Hmm.
Here in Mexico, well. Here in Central America, we're pretty aggressive.
That is
We play a really in a more aggressive play style
yeah.
and not as conservative. Like we go all in.
That is true. I heard you guys are really competitive. I think Pax said that. Like it's really hard to top if North America start going to like Latin or from where you guys are at. It's like really hard to top. Is that
Yeah, we have like a different goo. It's more like more of something really processed and stuff. We just do
yeah.
like, yeah, yeah, this card works. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Put it. Yeah, it's pretty good. Put one random Rageki and you will draw it. And wow, you drew it and you just blew off the guy. And when you see the the deck profile, you say, what?
Yeah.
What? He only played like one Rageki. What the fuck is this?
Hey, if it works, it
But if and the guy is only gonna say, yeah, this card worked.
works.
And yeah, we don't have like something like, oh yeah, I play this deck because this little engine gets you to this trap card, and this is an obni negate, and after that gives you resources and stuff. Yeah, go and play the MSD, you're gonna work. And
That
it
is
does, and it does.
that is
It's pretty random, but it's funny
yeah,
too.
that's and I respect every region. Like, it's very interesting, and like you usually don't see that every day because like when I play test online on Dueling Book, and then when I lost, I usually check their profile. Sometimes they're like a country. Oh yeah, this country is playing a different decks because like I said, oh it does make sense, and yeah, it's actually really cool. And I actually heard stories about that as well.
Yeah,
Um,
and just to end this
mhm.
and make it to the next question, I
Yep.
think that something pretty important is the language barrier.
That is true. The language. How does that work exactly?
Well, in in my particular case, I don't have the issue because I know the language.
Mhm.
But I know a lot of players that obviously they don't know English,
Yeah.
and their opponent don't know Spanish, or like
Yeah.
a fluent a lot of Spanish is just like the necessary Spanish, like sí, dale o qué hace tu carta, no, no, they just like know that, and it becomes a little bit complicated with that language barrier.
Yeah.
Sometimes judges help with that, but most of the times they need to be like a little bit more gimmicky in the
Mm.
way that they need to communicate with basic communication, like yes, effect, draw, standby, instead of just like trying to talk with your opponent, like
Mm.
okay, at the resolution are you going to trigger a speed 2 or something like that effect. No, okay, a resolution I'm going to do this. But when you're playing with that language barrier, it's way more complicated because you cannot do that, because he's
Yeah.
gonna tell you, okay, at the resolution, are you going to do anything because you have prior.
Mm.
And here in Mexico, or a Central American player that don't know English is gonna say, ¿Cómo? No te entiendo. And it's going to happen in the other way.
Okay.
A la resolución voy a activar a velocidad 2 o mayor. ¿Qué vas a hacer tú? What? And that's when they call the judge. And sometimes
Yeah.
uh, they get upset because they think that they're not playing correctly, and it
Oh,
happened in both ways. I've seen
yeah.
it.
That is.
Yeah, when I play with a foreign player, I always end up playing really well.
Yeah.
It's pretty rare that I like end up calling a judge for something else, like an interaction.
Mm. Mm.
That, oh my, judge, what how does this resolve? Oh
Mm.
yeah, this is it's not like, oh yeah, judge, my opponent is doing this and he's calling me this, because it happened a lot.
Mm.
But
That's.
yeah, but I try just to stay off of that because it's a
Yeah.
game, dude.
That is true. That is true. And like it's very complex. Like maybe like one day I'll go to a different country. If I don't have response, I'm just gonna do a thumbs up, just like let them keep playing.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
but yeah, and like I heard that rumors that like when North America joined, I think they were a 3v3 YCS before when my friend joined, and they were like you can communicate with them, but they were speaking foreign, so they didn't know what they were saying. So it was like a huge disadvantage on the other side and a huge advantage on the other side. What's your thoughts on that?
Sorry.
So I remember my friend joined the 3v3 for the
Okay.
YCS. I don't know where was it. It was in North America, but it was somewhere in a different country that speak a different foreign language. So their team can communicate with their other team, but the North America does not understand what they're saying. What's
Okay.
your thoughts about that? Do you think that's a huge advantage on the other side and disadvantage on the other side, or
That's a pretty complicated topic,
yeah,
because yeah, they have all the rights to talk in at their language,
hmm,
but at the same time, sometimes it's not correct.
yeah,
It depends a lot on
yeah?
too,
It's
with
like a
the
gray
attitude of
area.
the. It depends a lot on the attitude of the players. I think
Yeah.
it's pretty important that. I think that's pretty basic, because of course, if you see like your opponent is a little bit of aggressive, you
Hmm.
don't know what are telling. So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, it happened to me. I'm not. I have like an issue with a top player that I'm not going to mention it.
Yeah, don't worry.
But it's when it's like the old saying that never meet your heroes. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was against like a 3v3,
Uh-huh.
and they were like really disrespectful.
Oh no.
I'm just gonna say that he's European, but I'm going to say anything
Yeah.
more because
Yeah.
maybe it's gonna be an issue. But
Mhm.
they had a really bad attitude. Obviously, we as players are doing our best to talk at their language,
Yeah.
and sometimes it happened to me at the YCS 3v3 that was hosted here in Mexico City.
Uh-huh.
Um, it was like around round 5 or 6, and it was the tier format, that horrible format that
Oh
only
yeah, yeah.
that only weird people loved it. I don't know why people love tier 0
Yeah.
formats.
It's not
Well,
right.
I know why, but I think that it's it's not fun. Like,
Yeah, it's not the greatest. Huh?
yeah, I heard that that a lot of people like that format, those formats, because it's more skill dependent, more on luck.
Yeah.
But only playing tiers, seeing tiers is kind of boring. I hate
You
that thing.
basically play on your turn when like basically like oh it's unfair like even Flunder can play on your turn as well. But like I just like want a deck that like play on your turn, not on your opponent's turn. It's like basically changed the game so much.
Yeah, but going back to that topic, we had an issue with a resolution of a card.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because it was like chain 7 because
Oh my,
Kid Kala chain 1, Merly chain 2, chain 3, chain 5,
it's
yeah, that thing. And one of my cards was like chain 6 or 7, I don't remember exactly.
mm-hmm.
And he said like, oh yeah, go on. And like 3 turns after, he said, oh my god, you need to return that card. And it was like, oh my god, I forgot it. It was just like my first turn, but I think that it was a little bit irrelevant. No, because I had Herald. And it was like, well, you just realized that, same as me. And he
Yeah.
wanted to rewind like 3 turns, and like the judge was like, dude, seriously, you want to rewind 3 turns when you just milled half of your deck and return half of your graveyard to your deck? That's not possible. And he started just to do stuff, and he's like, okay,
What?
yeah, something that I really recommend you to players is that
Uh,
don't fight with your opponent like verbally. Just call the
yeah.
judge and let the judge
Yeah.
resolve everything. Yeah,
Yeah. Save your energy too.
yeah, it happened to me on this WCQ. A guy made a really bad movement,
Mm-hmm.
and I told him that he couldn't do it because he already accepted that the card resolved. It happened that I activated Big Welcome on my graveyard, targeting my opponent's Baxia,
Mm-hmm.
and he took the card.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, this was the extra deck,
Mm-hmm.
and this was the Baxia,
Uh-huh.
and he took the Baxia,
Uh-huh.
and it was almost here, but he remembered, he returned the Baxia to the field and activated the Tenyi circle. And I told him, you already accepted that
Yeah.
my effect is resolvent.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, because even though I already won that game, he just
Yeah.
started laughing and stuff. And I told him, I ain't going to fight you.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna call the judge and let him resolve that.
Yeah.
I told him the issue, and
Mm.
he solved it.
That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't waste your energy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
returning to the topic, we finished that, and after all that, we ended up pretty well. But my opponents, the opponent of my teammate, won
Mm.
the game, but he was like pretty salty because my situation with my opponent, which he at the end of the day he didn't have like the issue.
Yeah.
We didn't have like an issue, even though I won the match.
Mm-hmm.
He was like pretty okay. We handshake and everything, and
Mm-hmm.
the other guy didn't shake hands with my friends. And he just like let my friend like this, and it was like, yo, what's with that? You're like a pro player,
Mm.
and you're doing like it
Yeah.
was pretty something
Yeah.
pretty disrespectful, and
Yeah.
just
No,
not
that's true.
yeah,
Um.
never meet your heroes.
Yeah, that is true. And also, thanks for telling me about that because this actually happened. The same scenario, a little bit different about the whole time situation about basically Yu-Gi-Oh used to be 40 minutes, now they're 45 minutes. It happened to me last year in Chicago. I'm not gonna say who it was, but
It's okay.
it was game two, and I won game one. Game two, he was a social player. I just say, hey man, you gotta like fast the pace a little bit because time's a thing, and I don't want
Sure.
to go into the draw. And then he said, let me think, because like I know you're trying to think, but like you gotta play faster. I wish I called a judge. I wish I did not say, hey, you got to play faster. I should have called judge, hey, my opponent's slow playing, but I think that would be like save a lot of time from both.
Yeah, as having the point of view of a player and a judge,
Yeah,
and they're like 5 minutes on round,
yeah,
call the judge, and the judge is going to stay there to see if your opponent keeps, because I did that because my opponent was in that same match of the Sorcerer player. My opponent
mm,
was like watching the deck, like uh, looking through what he wanted to add, and he was like picking a card and like seeing returning a card. And I was like, yo, can you play faster? Can you do your
yeah,
action? You
yeah,
already saw your deck like 5 times. You need to
yeah.
know what your deck does.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. And he kept doing that. And I just called the judge, and the judge
Yep.
just stayed there. My opponents kept doing that, and my
Mhm.
judge gave him a warning and gave us like gave us a 3 minute extension, and
Oh, dang, okay.
yeah,
That's
and
a
yeah, and it was like, yeah, keep doing your stuff. The judge
Mhm.
is here. If you want to keep doing that, you're gonna have a game loss. So I'm cool with that. Keep you doing your stuff. I
Yeah.
have, yeah, the judge is here and he's going to evaluate all the things that you're doing. So always call a
Yeah.
judge, and it's something that I really tells my friend that I really tell to my friends every time they come
Mhm.
to me. Oh my god, this guy just he made time and he cheated on me, and
Just
why
call
you
for
did
a
it,
judge.
and why you didn't call a judge, and they are like, oh,
Oh,
exactly, call
yeah,
the judge. When you
that's
have those issues, call a judge.
yeah, and
Don't
also
be
like, for ruling too, like if you're not quite sure, even or the floor judge, you can call for a head judge too, just to be sure
yeah,
as well.
yeah, calling a judge is free, so why wouldn't
Yeah, and like
it?
you never know, you could have won that game. Never know.
Yeah, because they sometimes they're like, oh, I could have I could have won that game, but oh dang, this guy just made time to me, and it was like, call a judge.
Yeah,
If he was cheating on you and you knew, call
call.
the judge.
Yep, because like that person could have top instead of the other person. Yep.
Exactly, it happened because it happened to me before, that I
Hmm.
was that guy who said, oh my god, I lost because that, and my girlfriend was like, did you call a judge?
Hmm.
And I was like, no. Exactly.
Yeah.
And today, and in this event, I did that, and thanks to
Yep.
that, I won. No, no, because the judge gave me a preference or something like that. It was because the things were fair. Okay, you're
Hmm.
doing time, take your time. We're gonna give you an extension, so play fair,
Yep.
and
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
that's it. That's it.
Yep. I should probably use that more in the future. I usually use for ruling, but just in case for slow play or like something happened with the game mechanic, just call for a judge. Just be sure everything's
Yeah.
organized and problem solved. Do you have any favorite stories about the game that you want to share?
What could it be? They happen a lot of things on the
You
game.
top your national, got a trophy.
Yeah, it was like maybe something that I can tell you,
Hmm.
and it is the 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 tension changes a lot when you're on the top tables, not like on table one or two. When on a big event like nats, ycs and stuff, you see that they separate the top card tables.
Hmm. Hmm.
When you're playing on those tables, the tension is different.
Yeah.
Like, the vibe is completely different because you know that you're playing with the best players of the event,
Hmm.
and the flow of the game is just different. Um, it happened to me when I taught my first event. It was different because uh, those wins
Hmm.
worth a lot,
That is true.
because it's not like on a round win that you just won the game and got points for the next round.
Yeah.
No, it's different because every time that you win, you're winning more prizes.
That is true. And like
Yeah,
it's a different level ceiling, like the water vaporized. Like this is a whole completely game changing. Like any like this is all in or out. You know.
yeah, you need to be like flawless
That
on
is
on
true.
how you play, because, like, for example, WCQ top 64, you get the mat.
Yep.
Cool. Top 32, you get a prize card,
Yep.
$400, $500. No,
Yep.
in this case, $600. Top 16, you get two two binders with the complete um
Set of
with the complete sets, and and a booster box. Top 8, you get a trophy, you get a switch, and it goes on and on, and it was like, yeah,
yeah.
because now you're winning for a prize, you're
That
not winning to win the round and
that
get
is true.
points. So the tension, and that's why there are judges there, because they know they need to they need to supervise completely how the players are playing, if they're
Mhm.
cheating, because it happened a lot that people cheat.
That is true. That is
So
true.
yeah, it happened to me that it was like at the first time that I topped on my first WCQ, like it was like 2015, if
Mm-hmm.
I remember correctly. I got the Draco Slayers playmat in that event. I was
Ooh,
yeah, it was my first WCQ and I topped, but I was like the 64. Like I was pretty lucky,
yeah.
and I didn't realize that all the tension and all the things that you're getting after you win and you get more prizes. And I started to realize that on the first event that I considered that I performed pretty well, which was um, the first remote YCS that was here on Latin America. I went at the end of the end of the day two, in
Mm-hmm.
the because and it was pretty cool because there were like three groups or two groups
Mm-hmm.
playing on different servers, and on day two they are combined so they can play day two.
Oh yeah, yeah. Those North American player versus Latin and all the others one, right?
Yeah, but it was more on the region. For example, there were stores hosting the event on their channels, on their Discord channels.
Mm-hmm.
And after you register to the event and stuff, they assign you to one of those channels. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously you need to play on that channel for the rest of day one. And
Mm-hmm.
on day two, they assign just one channel to play day two and the top cut. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so at the end of day two, I ended up 12 with Tri Brigade, pure Tri Brigade. And I was
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah,
oh my god, that was like the first event that I went like a god.
yeah. Dang.
I won top 32, and I lost at 16.
Oh dang. At least
And
it's still a top though.
sorry,
Oh, at least you made that far. Like
yeah,
that's.
but something that hits me. Well, I just go over it
Oh
from
yeah.
time to time, but
Mm-hmm.
it was like if I won that game,
Uh huh.
I wouldn't gotten the to participate in the live stream,
Oh, you're
as
right.
a Switch and a prize card. You
Oh
see,
yeah.
you see the
Yeah,
differences
yeah, yeah.
between
Did,
playing top
uh,
16 and
did,
top
did
8.
Pac did Pac won that event or who won that event?
It was here in Latin America. I don't remember who won it, but it was a
Oh
Tri Brigade, Zodiac Tri
yeah.
Brigade, I
I
think.
remember your the Konami gave you your profile as a cartoon or something like that, right?
That was on the remote duel um, invitationals.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And you
Yeah,
came top 16 within that event, or what were?
no, I pretty underperformed on that event
Uh,
because I had an issue, and I played against the two guys that were playing the new deck in that time, which
oh,
was Try Littleusk, and I didn't know how to play that deck. That's why you need to prepare for those decks
oh, yeah.
because I didn't know the choke points.
Mm-hmm.
I played against one really good player, which I don't know if you know it. It's Raphael Reich.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Raphael, yeah, Team Jobber, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a really good Brazilian player, and I lost against him because I had the hand traps, but I didn't know how to play them against that deck.
Oh, that
And
could explain
he,
so much of
yeah,
it.
he special summoned the Warbler, the green
Mm-hmm.
one,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a Blade Baylor, but I was like, should I go and activate the Baylor?
Mm-hmm.
And I said like, let's see, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, no, I ain't going to waste it. And he told me results, yeah, and he was like, oh my god, and I was like, oh my god, I think that I
Oh,
should Baylor that shit,
yeah.
and I lost. We went 2-1 because he started the first game.
Mm-hmm.
On the second game, I won, and on the third game, that Baylor could give me the win, but I didn't know. And I just realized after that event, and I played like at against a friend of this guy against Tri Brigade. I bricked. I was playing Tri Brigade Zodiac with the Destiny Hero package,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that it was a mistake to play maybe the Zodiac package, or I don't know. I bricked a lot in that event. I hated the deck so much.
Yeah, no, actually. Hey, at least over time you did got better. I did see your results, so I'm really happy. This is just the beginning. You will go to
E-
world in the future, but
Exactly, but being able to participate in, just for being on that event,
mhm,
it's a pretty good plus,
that is true.
because I don't know if you remember how do you need to how do you got to that event. You needed to top two events before that. You needed to top in the remote duel extravagances,
Uh huh.
like made it on top 8,
Uh huh.
and after that they made an event which was the remote duel invitational, which obviously only for the players who top that event,
Talk
and
about
you
it.
needed to made it to finals on that
Oh,
event.
that's really hard. Holy.
Yeah, I mean, you play the event, top 8. I don't remember if it was the top cut was a top 8, but you
Mm.
need to play the top 8, top 4, and made it to finals
Oh my god. Yeah.
to made it to that event. And just one last thing about that, it was pretty funny. I was at the finals of the invitational,
Hmm.
of the qualifiers, or invitational qualifier.
Hmm.
I was like on fire on that event. I went undefeated on that event.
Holy moly.
I was on fire because I think that Tri Brigade became one of my best decks.
Hmm.
I was on fire. It was game 3. I started,
Hmm.
but I had a really good hand, but I really wanted to activate first a pot of desires.
Hmm.
I resolved it and I banished 3 Nervals.
Oh no.
I resisted 10 turns with no Nervals. Like, it was a mirror match, and my
Hmm.
opponent knew that that I banished those 3 Nervals, because when my kid went to graveyard, I didn't resolve the kids
No.
to send Nerval.
That's a
And
horrible RNG. Yeah.
yeah, it was completely RNG, because if I just stay with 1 Nerval, I would have been won the event.
That is
But
true.
I banished 3, and it was like, oh my god, I endured like 8 to 10 turns, because I was playing really well, but I was always behind because of that.
Yeah. Dang.
And
That really sucks.
it happens sometimes. This game is
It is.
somewhat of luck. But
Yeah,
yeah.
that's luck. Always gonna be a thing. Even skills. I would say both sides, but mostly luck. Cause like anything can happen. Even somebody can build the best deck and like can bubble out. Even myself, I bubble out last year when I could top that. I flipped E-Bear on him against the Death Via. I played the Brent Eldritch. You and I were talking about that during that time. And then
Mhm.
I say you don't have cross out. You don't have cross out. He said think. I said no, we have cross out. He changed cross out. I said dang. He just go all in. And I say, GG, man. I just say, end of the day, if you didn't have it, would you win? He's saying no. He would literally set a monster pass. Next turn, OTK him. But it happens.
It happens. It's
Yep.
normal.
How long do you see yourself playing this game? Since I know Yu-Gi-Oh players are kind of gotten tired of the game a little bit, or like having a family, all that other stuff. Just curious on your point of view.
Well, at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it soon, because I don't. It's a blessing that my wife plays Yu-Gi-Oh too, and she's into Yu-Gi-Oh a lot.
That is true. That's really
I
rare.
Yeah, I actually knew her by Yu-Gi-Oh, and I don't. I see myself playing a lot of yours go on.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm tired of the game. I'm gonna be honest with you, because sometimes I think that sometimes Konami made some weird decisions, or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the format are a little bit awkward or bad formats. I'm I'm a hater of tier 0 formats, and I'm a hater of the FTK formats. And when those kind of formats are out, I'm pretty sick of the game. Thankfully, since the year, everything has been correct. Maybe cash was an issue when it made like the 10 sons block, but beside after that, I think that cash is a pretty it's a pretty it's fair. Well, it's kind of it's a pretty good deck. I don't consider it broken,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. I don't consider that deck broken. I consider that the only pre-broken card that deck has at the moment
Diabolos.
is sorry.
Oh, the trophy card, the Mind Hacker Diabolosis.
Oh yeah, no, Diablosis was cancer. Yeah, and after the Diablosis hit, I think that the deck is pretty fair.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it has some broken interactions because Birth it's a broken card,
That is true.
but I think that the deck it's pretty fair. If you know how to stop it, it's fair. For example, if you know that their monster is blocking it and you cannot win on that turn, you just leave the monster there because they need a lot of setup in order to play around to having a monster. So you need to know those kind of things in order to win against those decks. And
Mm-hmm.
after you know that, everything is it's kind of fair. Like if the deck doesn't have like a win con,
Mm-hmm.
a broken win con, for example, blocking your 10 zones, a special summoning the gimmick puppet, or mm, or an FTK or something like that. I think that
Yeah.
the decks are fair. For example, at the moment, I think that the Eradicator hype is not worthy.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, in 15 rounds that I played 2 weeks ago on the tournament, I only resolved the like two Eradicators or three on the whole tournament. So it's not broken because it happened to me that I resolved that, and my opponent, oh yeah, I have five monsters, and it's like, oh, mm,
It is what it is.
it is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
So it's not a
Mental.
broken. It was because it was the exact time he had the exact cards and he drew the cards.
Mm-hmm.
It happened. It
You,
happened. It's
you
it's
cannot.
it's like it's like flipping the Mystic Mine. No, Mystic Mine is broken. No, but forget about my comment. Mystic Mine is broken. No, Mystic Mine. I don't know what Konami was thinking about when they
Yeah.
released Mystic Mine. Mystic Mine is just
Agreed.
such a pretty bad design card. The first time that I read that card on OCG League, I was like, "Is this real?
Is this real?
Is this real?" Like,
Yeah. That got is broken.
yeah, I think, is this real? And yeah, I played against mine. I played mine. It's a dirty card. I don't know if there was like a little community that wanted to mine to be on the game. That community is, they have something on the brain, or
That's
they
true.
like play solitaire. So yeah,
That is true. And mentioned about Radicator, that card is broke. Did you saw the one last national, the guy flipped Radicator on his opponent that won the game? That was crazy.
yeah, yeah. It was crazy. I mean, as a lab player that resolves viruses, it feels really good to take more than three cards. Like, yeah, it feels pretty good.
Yeah.
I will give you an example, but this goes on the net. But yo, that is a pretty amazing sensation because it happened to me on my last round uh before the top.
Hmm.
I activated but Devastator, not Eradicator. Devastator against a Pure Sprite,
Hmm.
and I took four monsters, and he was like,
Oh my
"Yo, that's broken," and I was like, "Yeah." My
You
top
make you
is,
really know you
yeah, I mean,
all
I
that you see that one card left and then it's literally nothing.
it's, yeah, it's nothing. It's like, it's evenly matched there.
Yeah. It's already
Meh.
over. Right?
Yeah, it's
Finally, let's go to
everything.
the next round.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, yeah, I won.
Makes sense.
And an Eradicator on top 16, which gave me the duel.
Uh-huh.
But yo, it was against a Runic.
Oh,
Yeah, you cannot touch your heart against Runic because Runic is broken.
yeah, that is broken. Especially the Sprite Runix or the Sprite
It,
Runic Hyper or something like that.
in that situation, it was Light Dream Sprite Runic,
Mm-hmm.
and he drew four spell cards. It was Duster and three Runic cards and two sprites,
Mm-hmm.
and the Eradicator just did some
Sealed
work.
game, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy.
but I think that it's not worth the hype because it's a consistent play, yeah, but sometimes it just doesn't happen
That is
as good as you saw it on the live stream.
that is true. It just like take care of like mostly the problems that you don't have to deal with, but and save a lot of resources too.
Yeah, and yeah, it's more the hype than it is. So yeah,
That's true. Do you do any hobbies on your free time besides Yu-Gi-Oh? By the way.
Uh, I like to play video games. I'm more of an RPG player. I stopped playing competitive video games because it's Yu-Gi-Oh or it's competitive video games. The difference is between it's on Yu-Gi-Oh you can earn cash and on video games not,
That's true.
or it's pretty
Depending what kind of game it is, but yeah.
yeah depending on but the games that I liked
Yeah. Oh yeah.
it's complicated. I'm more of a single player guy who
Okay.
likes to play Dark Souls and RPG games, and I like to travel.
Oh, very nice.
I really like to travel and know places. I think that that ties a lot with Yu-Gi-Oh because you need to travel in order to play another big event. So
Yeah. And you get to
yeah,
see your like friends and like learn about the places or food never tried or never been there. So it's like a win-win.
yeah, exactly. I really I love to go to the beach. I love to go to the beach
Yeah.
because
When you come to
I
America, let me know, man.
yeah, if you're down to come to Cancun, let's go.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Um, what's your favorite card for Yu-Gi-Oh and why is that of all time?
Okay, I have two favorite cards. Well, they became three. My first favorite card was Ninja Grandmaster Hanzo. I actually have a lot of them because I used to collect them. Just give me a second.
Yeah, no.
Oh my god, where is? Oh, here it is. I I actually have a binder of
Oh, the
I don't
Hanzo.
know a
Hanzo.
Hanzo. I have the tin
No way.
and I have like a ton of them.
Oh, okay. That's your favorite card all time.
One of my favorite cards. I have ultimate rares on a binder.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to have them like on a bunch,
Ooh.
but and I think that one of my favorite cards too. Um, it became the Zodiac Trident.
Oh, Giant, the card that got banned.
Yeah, I really like Trident.
Oh, is that Ultimate Rare?
No, that's on German.
German? Oh,
But oh my god, this
oh,
blur
so clear.
thing.
Oh, I can see it barely.
Oh my god, this is so bad.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay,
Okay, that's
okay,
good.
now you
That's
can see.
more. Yeah. Okay.
And the last well, I have two cars that I really like too. It's pretty hard to me that to say one of my favorite cars, but it is Frigid, which I have here on CR. But
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. CR. Oh,
the
the link on
no Starlight, sorry,
Starlight.
Frigid on Starlight. But I think that
Oh, yeah, the link.
the camera and the blur and the like three sleeves that he has.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
I don't know if you can see it,
I
but
can barely,
yeah.
but it looked really nice though.
And of course the Lady Labyrinth.
Oh yeah, I was about to mention about the labyrinth. The lady or skill drain for a second.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
a skill drain is life.
yeah,
A skill drain is life.
that is true. Yo, OTS.
Yeah,
Um, do you have a favorite deck and least favorite deck, by the way?
my favorite deck. Um, oh man, I think it would be between Tri Brigade and between Tri Brigade, Zodiac, and maybe Labyrinth.
Labyrinth. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe those.
yeah.
And
That's deck. Yeah.
the least that I played or that I know,
Oh, it can be either. Either.
because I hate Altergeist.
Yeah.
I hate Geist. I hate Clifford. Oh my god, I hate Clifford.
Gleeful.
And
Oh, that's
yeah,
one of my favorite decks.
oh my god, I'm so sorry, man, but I
It's okay.
hate
It's okay. I
Clifford.
respect that. I respect that.
Oh my god, it unlocks me a lot of bad memories of lose
Yeah,
one
yeah.
turn, vanity's emptiness, skills drain.
OTK.
Oh my
All
god, it was broken as hell.
yeah, no, I figured. I played Satellite Knights during that time as
Oh,
well.
I was playing Satellite Knights
No
too in that
way,
time.
no, we're brothers.
Yeah, no, oh no, oh my god, it was just such a pain. Like, yeah, lose one turn.
Yeah,
Oh, oh, dang.
and
Actually, on one of those tournaments against Glee, I was playing the three MSTs
uh-huh.
and three dust tornadoes.
No way, really? Three dust
I,
tornadoes?
I won those locals just because I had like a dust tornado.
Oh
But
yeah, because you were getting rid of Cleafords, that's why.
yeah, I said no.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah, and I don't know of another deck that I hate, but if I need to like specify the deck that I hate for the format at this format, it will be branded. I don't know. I just hate branded.
No,
There is no particular reason of why I hate branded. I just hate branded.
yeah, no,
That's it.
just like the combo, like just like synergy, they have like fall in play, or like they just like doing same board, or like the gimmick locks still a thing if they still have the combo. But yeah,
Yeah, there's no actually reason because, for example, Clifford and Altergeist have a reason of why I hate them.
hmm
But branded, I just hate it because I just want to hate it. I need to hate something, and if I need to hate something, it will be branded.
it's okay, no worries. But pretend I don't play Brandon, you know. But yeah,
No,
I think three, four more questions, and oh yeah, three more questions. Oh yeah, do you want to say something before
no, go ahead, go ahead.
do you think Yu-Gi-Oh will be a teamwork or will be individual or can be both for like deck building and strategies and stuff like that?
Okay, that's an interesting one because I've already done both.
Mm-hmm.
I was more of a solo player years ago,
Oh dang.
and nowadays I'm a more of I have actually a team.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a sponsor, and I have like my team of friends. I mean, yeah, my teammates are my friends too, but my close friends and my teammates,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it's I think that it's better for one to have like something like a team,
Mm-hmm.
because it's people who are going to be completely honest when you test against them, that they say, dude, that deck is pretty bad, or that card, I think it's bad, or you should play this,
Mm-hmm.
or oh, you should do this.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this on the internet and you should look through it. I saw this card being played and I saw the interaction. It was insane. And they help you to play test and opinions on cards. And the morale, in the morale stuff too, I think that is pretty important. So you can do both, but in my opinion, I think that it gives you more pluses to have like a team. So I will say that maybe it's more of a team game
Mm-hmm.
in a way that, yeah, you need to know different points of view, because I have, for example, I'm a player that uh, I like to have perfect ratios. I'm not that guy who likes to play like one offs or something unless they're limited. I'm that guy who likes to play correct numbers, maybe because I have like uh, TDH or something, and I need to see everything
Yeah, like
perfectly aligned.
everything. Yeah,
Uh-huh. And because mathematically, I know that that's going to be consistent because
very cool.
I'm aware
Yeah,
when you're playing locals, and locals are like between 4 to 6 round max,
yeah,
and on a big tournament it is between 8 to 10 rounds on regionals,
yep,
and on a big tournament are more rounds. So you need to be completely like realistically
yep.
on math,
It's
unless you're
consistency. Yep.
sorry,
Consistency.
consistency. Yeah, I like to see like perfect numbers
Mhm.
in order to have more consistency.
Okay, and consistency
Hmm.
is like king, basically. Like people say, like 40 cars. That's like over 40 brick, but like now these days, it kind of changed that. Like You want to play all the good cards, see the results math involved, and like test which one work, what doesn't work, and
Yeah,
shenanigans. Yeah.
yeah. I actually played. There were two times that I played 40 plus cards,
Mm-hmm.
which was on one of my first nats.
Mm-hmm.
I played Zodiac 50 cards.
Oh dang.
Not in a specific engine. It was just Zodiac 50 cards
Mm-hmm.
because Grass Looks Greener was a card,
Oh yes, that card is very powerful.
and I didn't want it to give my opponent that much of an advantage.
That is true.
So I played 50. I played non grass on the whole tournament,
Mm-hmm.
but it was pretty consistent because every Zodiac was one card combo. You play turret top of three with Teketumborg. You have instant fusion. You have the fusion resolve combo, which means you draw cards.
Yeah.
And the second time that I played more than 40 cards was on the 2022 championships,
Mm-hmm.
which was the fake WCQ because
Mm-hmm.
we didn't have Worlds the last year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I played the first time that you actually made a deck profile with me. My LH like 44 or 45 cards, I remember exactly.
Yeah, you were playing the Owlet Brave engine with Despia or something like that.
With branded.
Brandon.
So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
I played 44 because I was playing a lot of bricks, but
Yeah.
those bricks lead you to more cards. For example,
Yep.
branded things your deck for two cards, which is the albas and the
Yep.
other fusion material.
Yep.
The right of atmosphere things your deck for three, which is the Faithful Adventure,
Mm.
the Dracoback, and the Griffin Rider.
Griffin.
And
Yep.
the Lich cards too. You activate them, you banish, and you kept taking out cards from your deck. So it
Yep.
was something more of a consistency issue. It was more like of a logical and mathematical issue. That's why
Yes.
I played 44 cards, and it was correct. And this last labyrinth deck that I played, it sticks to 40. Sometimes I played at 41, but it's not necessary just because just you try to use your logic and it's like, why would I play the third card of this?
Yeah.
Because i'm gonna I'm not going to draw it anyway because I'm playing 42, 41.
Yeah. You want to make the deck consistency as possible, and like when you made the Owlet branded with the Brave engine, it was a perfect call because you're playing Owlet, you have boss monster, get your deck rolling, steamroll. The Brave engine just like take cares and then just pay out cards and just put massive damage and then or OTK or something like that.
Exactly, it was like the base decks.
Yeah, that's a good and like if they prepare for it. Okay, they stop one engine, they have to worry about the second or third engine.
Exactly.
Yep. What do you do for a living and how old are you? If that's okay asking as a player.
Sure, no problem. I'm 28 years old and I'm a marketing analyst
Oh,
and yeah, and director of my area. So yeah, I'm more on the marketing stuff.
oh, very nice, very nice. And where you from? Mexico or New
I'm
Mexico?
from Mexico. Yeah, I'm from Mexico, from
Oh,
the north of Mexico, but at
oh,
the moment I live in on the center of Mexico.
oh, very nice, very nice. I think that's it. Like you said, thank you for your time, Reen. Before ending this video, do you want to give any shout outs or anything like that before we end the livestream?
Yeah, sure. Shout outs to my girlfriend. Shout outs to Dragon Inc., which is one of the most top notch playmat creators. I think that you know them. Yeah, they're one of my best friends and my sponsors. Um, to my team, Armageddon team. To my local stores, young gamers and stuff, and to my sponsorship, Brian. If you're looking through this, thank you so much. And that's it.
Yeah, thank you for your time. Your boy, and Reen, is signing out. Peace. All right.